Hey, peace reflections, good energy to all. So in this video, I just wanted to I wanted to talk about some events that happened earlier in the day today. My main, my main responsibility for the household right now, since most of the you know so-called handiwork, whatever you want to call it, is done, is maintaining the front garden or collection of plants that we've planted here at the house and watering them, taking care of the mounds and stuff like that. And part of me really likes to do it, but part of me is also um, doesn't like to do it because I live in Oregon right now, and Oregon is a very, very. I mean, it rains a lot here, um, and I know I've been into the wilds of Oregon, and I know how plentiful and beautiful and great and green things grow there on their own without people having to water them. So my mother, she likes to do all these different things, and so she insisted on putting a bunch of plants here that aren't native to Oregon, and so because of that, they require watering during the summer, which is also something that I advise anybody not doing. If you're going to garden plants, I think it's a really beautiful thing, and I find it to be very therapeutic. But you should garden and plant plants that are native to the area. It's going to help keep you from taking water from an alternative source, and it's also and then also the water that comes from an alternative source is probably going to be poisoned if it's coming from a hose. And also, I just feel like the plant itself isn't going to be growing as it should, much like all these human beings, outside of their natural elements, and they develop mutations from that based on their environment. Once they step outside of their natural environment, that's how mutations and diseases occur. And even some of our plants have funguses on them. So, um, yeah, it's also just extra labor that you shouldn't really have to do, um, if the plants were native to the land. So anyway, it's kind of a back and forth. It's kind of like a love-hate relationship because part of me really does love providing and growing these plants and taking care of them. But then part of me is always like, this is actually something that doesn't need to exist. It's part of man-made it's part of man manipulation. I can't say the word I was trying to say. So, um, but anyway, this is a chore that I do every other day, and sometimes while I'm doing this chore, I can get kind of anxious and anxiety, and then also like the way that the plants are situated. Well, first of all, like this house right here is on a very busy street. It's Stark Street in Portland, and actually Stark Street was one of the original streets that leads all the way to the river, the big river that Portland is located around. So it's a very busy street, and we're in a downtown area, so there's a lot of foot traffic as well, and there's always car traffic. I mean, literally from 5 in the morning till 3 at night, there's a consistent flow of vehicles going both ways. So that in itself creates a lot of energy that I find to be rather irritating at times, to be honest. But I'm getting better at it. I'm getting much better at it. Um, So that's just kind of a precursor to the setting of the story, or the I say story, but this is what really happened today, this morning. Um, and then also like the hose that I got to use to carry it around. It's a very thick and heavy hose, and it's like I got to like maneuver it around all these different plants and make sure I don't like smash the plants, and the hose can get tangled up, and it's a tough hose, so it's hard to maneuver. My mom literally can't really water her plants. I say her plants, I just mean because she chose to take possession of them and she went out and bought them and all that. Because the hose is so heavy, so it's kind of a chore that nobody else is really fit to do here but me. So anyway, I'm kind of getting off the subject. The main thing I want to talk about is while I was watering the plants today, um, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and there was a houseless. I'm assuming he's houseless. I don't know. Maybe he had a house, but in Portland, there's a lot of people that, I mean, recycling is really big, and I think that's cool. A lot of people are about recycling, and there's a lot of people who live on the streets that just essentially live by recycling cans, and they go through all people's recycles, and they pick up all the cans and bottles that they can. A lot of people even just leave them outside of their house for the houseless to pick up, and I think that's really cool and all. So it's a pretty common thing to see people going through recycling bins and this and that. So when I saw somebody coming up to our front yard while I was out watering the plants today, initially I was like, all right, no big deal, not a big thing, this is pretty common. But he went from the recycle to the green can, and our garbage can is extremely foul right now. It smells like hell. I can't really get around 10 feet of it without wanting to wear a gas mask. It's super foul. My parents, they bought some ribs a while back that they eventually didn't eat, and so they got spoiled and rotten, and so they threw it in the garbage. And then we also have two dogs, so sometimes they throw dog poop in there, and just regular kitchen garbage as well. And so it's a very, very foul smelling garbage can. It's disgusting. Uh, so keep that in mind. So anyway, the garbage, the blue can, and the yard can are all out there, and I'm watering the plants, doing my thing. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning, and this guy comes by, and he goes from the recycle, and then he goes to the garbage can. And as soon as I see him do that, I'm like, wow, man, that's crazy. Like, I don't really mind that you're going through garbage. There's that saying, one person's garbage is another person's treasure. So I was like, cool. I mean, maybe you'll find something good in there. I highly doubt it. Like, we got nothing but old food scraps and stuff on his. So I was like, have at, I was essentially, it didn't bother me. Initially, I was just like, whatever, he's going to realize there's nothing in there and it stinks, and I'll probably move on pretty quickly. So I didn't pay much attention to him initially. But so I kept on watering my plants, and it takes me about an hour, a little over an hour to do all these plants. So I'm out there for a while. And another 5 minutes goes by, and this guy's still going through my green can. And like, not only is he going through it, like, he's like really into it. Like, his hands are all up in there, like he's leaning into the garbage. And I'm just like, I don't know how you're able to do this, dude. Like, that can stinks really bad. There's nothing in there, and like, he's not even like, it's like he was playing with the garbage. And I'm just like, you know, and I'm slow, and I'm like, part of where I have to water the plants, like, it's the whole front yard we have here, and like, there's plants right next to the garbage can that I know I'm eventually going to get to, which is right next to this dude. So I'm like, okay, slowly I'm going to continue to work my way closer to him. I know this guy sees me watering the plants, he sees me seeing him, and I'm just smiling at him, and it's just going to get kind of awkward. But I was like, whatever, I'm just going to try to keep my cool. And then, so I'm watering the plants, and every once in a while I'll look back and just see what he's doing. And then sure enough, I had a feeling he was going to start taking garbage out and kind of just like throwing it around. And I had plants like right next to the garbage can, so I was like, oh man, he's probably going to, some of the garbage is probably going to fall on the plants, and that's not cool. I can get a little tempery about, because we've had workers here that just like throw some of their excess stuff or tools on the plants, and it's just like, what, man, what are you doing? You don't think the plant doesn't feel that? Like, there's plenty of other room right here you can put your stuff. So anyway, that's kind of a pet peeve of mine. And sure enough, he was going through the garbage and just like kind of just like taking stuff out, letting it fall wherever, and some of the stuff fell on the plants. And I was like, oh great, like, I'm gonna eventually get close to this dude, and like within a couple of feet, and have to pick up this garbage, put it back in the garbage, and then continue watering the plant while he's still continuing to go through the garbage. And like, I was in a kind of a sensitive mood, and I was like, I really not wanting to like confront this guy or have any type of an awkward situation at all. But I could tell like he still wasn't going away. Like, he was still like in the garbage and like enjoying the garbage and just like looking at stuff like he was amazed by some of the stuff that was in there. And it was just really, I was like, I was really like fascinated. I was like, wow, this is really interesting. Like, this guy is really involved in this, what he's doing right now, and something that I find to be completely vile, but then I start thinking about like, anyways, so then I see him, put the garbage on the plant, like it falls on the plant, and I start to get angry, and I'm like, yo, man, like, I really don't want to have to tell this dude to get away. I don't want to be confrontational. Like, I can tell, like, he's kind of sketched, and he's probably kind of sick in the head, and then I start thinking, oh, he's a demon, and he's this and that, and I started getting kind of excited. I started getting kind of angry, and um, I was like, I don't even want to get angry. I just want him to go away. I'll clean up the mess. I don't even care it's on the ground. I don't want to say anything to him. Like initially, I wanted to say something, like, "Yo, bro, get out the garbage. There's nothing there." But I stopped. I stopped myself, and I was like, "No, I'm not gonna engage in it that way. I'm gonna be calm. I'm gonna be peaceful. I'm gonna let him do what he does, and I'm just gonna put the thoughts out there. They're just gonna go away peacefully, and I'll clean it up and move on, and it'll all be good." And so I'm slowly getting closer to his area. I'm slowly getting closer to his area, and I can tell in my head. I'm like, as soon as I get within 10 feet, he's probably going to dip out. Because he was a kind of a smaller man, and he didn't look very, he looked kind of sick and older, and he wasn't able to lock eye contact with me. Like I kept on like trying to like get like a smile or some type of like, "Yo, what's up?" Like, "Yo, I'm here right here, and you're going through the garbage." Like, but he wouldn't even like make eye contact with me at all. And so then that started to get me kind of even a little bit more weird because I was like, this guy is really sketchy, you know. And I started to feel myself getting a little bit more agitated and excited the closer I got to him because I don't do so well with social engagements. I mean, it depends. If I'm in my right element, I'm actually pretty good at social um, encounters if I'm in the right crowd. But sometimes I'm really horrible at it, especially now. I'm trying to get off, all these different drugs and toxins and stuff like that. So my sensitivity is at, kind of a high. I'm very sensitive right now. So I started to get a little, my legs started to get a little tingly and shaky, kind of like that feeling before. Like if you've ever been in a fight, you kind of get like that adrenaline going, and I could feel my anger, my lower self getting kind of like agitated, and I started to feel like that macho me wanted to come out and just tell this dude to get out of here. There's nothing in there, and pick up the garbage, and just kind of be a dick about it. But I was like, no, that's not the right way to react. And I can even remember like, I'm going to give praise and shout to Master Teacher Nature Boy, the Honorable Master Teacher Nature Boy, because he's always about react well. Feel the emotion, recognize it, but the way you react to the situation says everything about your character. I know a lot of times in my past I haven't reacted very well. I've let my anger get the best of me. I wasn't wise. I wasn't calm. I wasn't peaceful. I wasn't in control of my emotions. I let them override me, and I acted foolishly, and I tripped and fell and hurt myself and others. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt this guy. I don't want to conflict. I don't want to fight. I'm tired of fighting, especially over something stupid and petty like this. Like, okay, so there's garbage on the plant, but the plant's going to be fine. That's what he doesn't want to pick it up. That's fine. I'll pick it up. Like, I really don't care about doing that extra work. I would rather you just kind of move on, man, and, kind of give my way because at the end of the day, we are all exchanging energy with each other. And, the type of energy that I was perceiving from this character wasn't initially. I was like, it's not good. Like, I'm judging the way he looks, and all this and that, and, things going to my head. And then I started to feel myself getting a little bit more fiery, and I'm slowly getting closer and closer to him. And then I was just like, I've been reading the Holy Bible, and I know that getting angry and looking down on your brother and judging them, unfairly and coming from a place of negativity and hurt isn't good. And I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be that way. So I started thinking Jesus Christ's name, and I kept on saying, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, just help this dude peacefully move on. I don't want trouble here. Things are kind of sketch, things are kind of weird, but just let this guy move on and peacefully. I'll pick up the garbage. I don't mind. Let's just help me through this. Essentially is what I was saying. And I kept on just thinking that thought in my head, my head, my head. And then sure enough, as soon as I got within like 10 feet of the cat, he took actually a broken fan we had in the garbage, which was like the one thing that I could kind of see as possibly being useful, but he'd already seen the fan and he put that on the side and he kept on going through stuff. But anyway, once I got within like 10 feet of him, he moved on. He moved on, and I was like, oh, oof, all right, that's cool. But he only moved on to go to my neighbor's garbage can, and then he started doing the same thing in my neighbor's garbage can, and he was there for like probably another 5 to 10 minutes or so. And he brought out this mirror and he kept on looking at this mirror and he was like shining at all these different houses and stuff. And it was like looking at a mirror like he'd never seen it before. And this is like, he must have been like at least 40 years old. And I was like, wow, this is really fascinating. Like, this is really happening right now. And I'm just totally here watering my plants. Like, and he didn't even like acknowledge me at all. Like, he would look this way and that way, and every time I try to lock eyes with him, and I was just trying to smile and be like, "Yo, what's up? Like, I'm here." Like, I mean, you know what you're doing, and you know what I'm doing. Like, you want to say something or anything?" And no, he wouldn't even lock eye contact with me, and um, and so then eventually I had to keep on going, in the direction that I was going and watering my plants was in his direction. So I was continuing to move closer and closer to him, and then he eventually left my neighbor's garbage can, leaving trash on the side too, as he did with my garbage can. And I didn't even say anything. I was like, "That's cool, man. Just move on." I actually like picking up garbage. I mean, I really do find um, that's good work to do. I think that's good godly work to do, is to pick up the garbage on the ground. So it doesn't really bother me to do that. But so anyway, he eventually got tired of that, and he continued to walk. And he went to my next neighbor's house, and he just walked right up on the yard and sat down on the house. And then I'm still like, able to see him watering my plants, continuing to kind of glance up from time to time while I'm watering the plants. And he was like, he started paying more attention to my direction, and I could tell like he was kind of irritated. And I mean, he literally just walked up on somebody else's yard and just sat right on it. And then while he was sitting there for a couple of minutes, he took off his flip flop and he threw it in my direction to my neighbor's yard. And I was like, wow, this dude, this is crazy right now. Like, and again, I haven't said a word to him. I'm just looking, just making sure, nothing sketch or crazy happens, and just being aware of my situation, and also just trying to keep my cool. I can tell that there's definitely some different type of energy exchange going on between us. We're obviously at different, vibrational frequencies of thought and feeling. So there was that weirdness in the air. Then I kept on thinking of Jesus' name and Jesus Christ and being good. And then I actually started to feel compassion before he got onto my neighbor's yard. Once I started to get close to him, I started feeling bad for him, because I was like, that garbage can is so foul. Like, I don't know how. I don't know what is compelling you to want to be inside that garbage can, but like, I feel bad for you, man. Like, that's like beyond like you throwing garbage everywhere and on the plants and this and that and not caring about it. Like, I'm actually now I'm starting to feel for this guy's soul. And I didn't start feeling that until I started saying Jesus Christ's name, and thinking in my head and just like kind of asking for peaceful guidance and good guidance through this challenging moment, because it was challenging for me. Like I said, even just watering the plants on a normal day can kind of irk me a little bit. And so, well, to have somebody like this show up while I'm watering the plants, and then to see him kind of like put garbage on the plants and do his thing, like, was even like an extra obstacle for me to get over and to go through and to navigate well. And so that's why I was talking in the ethers and in my mind, and just kind of vibrating that thought frequency of just asking help from Jesus Christ and stuff like that. And the more I started to do that, like I said, I started to feel compassion for the guy, and stuff. And it was really quite an interesting feeling, to be honest. And he eventually just moved on. Like I said, I got within about 8 to 10 feet of him, and he just kind of left. And nothing else happened. And I picked up the garbage, then put it back in my can, to my neighbor's can. And I took the garbage back. I took the recycle in the yard back up to the house because they were empty. Obviously, the garbage wasn't quite emptied yet, so I left that there till the truck came a little bit later. But anyway, I just wanted to share this experience with you guys, and also give a praise and just much gratitude to the Honorable Master Teacher Nature Boy for really emphasizing and teaching the importance of reaction and how to react well, and how much that says about your character, who you are, how you treat yourselves, how you treat your fellow reflections, which is a reflection of you. And I was really starting to see that. I was starting to see that, this is we are the same. Like this, he's not. This is whatever he's doing, he comes from the same source that I came from. And he's hurting, and he is here for a reason. And essentially, him, we both manifested ourselves in this one time and space at the same time. And at the end of the day, I just want to get along and well with everybody as much as I can. Now, with that being said, if I see things like really getting out of hand and this and that, I'll have to put down, whatever I can to straighten things out. But I'm always going to want to go for the path of least resistance and peace. And I'm just happy that situation ended so peacefully, because it could have could have ended differently, man. I do have a tendency to kind of lash out and get angry, and you know, I can be very macho-y, you know, aggressive against other males, especially if I feel like they're in the wrong. And you know, I didn't react that way. You know, the thoughts were there, but like I said, the teachings of the Honorable Master Teacher Nature Boy, and just, you know, the whole spiritual community in general, definitely has helped guide me to a more peaceful perspective on how to deal with my obstacles. So, you know, much gratitude to all you guys, and especially to the Honorable Master Teacher Nature Boy. And you know, just also just wanted to just, you know, share this with anybody else and whoever else, just to react well and to ask for guidance from your higher self, whatever form that may be. If it's Jesus Christ, if it's Buddha, if it's, you know, whatever type of religion or practice or following or routine spirituality you use, you know, you can, you know, tapping into those benign, positive, beautiful, loving forces and energies and entities will help guide you through dark times in your life, or challenges and obstacles in your life. And, you know, I just wanted to um, share that as a kind of a testament, because that's something that's never happened before. Like I said, like, it's pretty frequent you see people going through the recycling can, and you know, they pick up their bottles and they just move on pretty peacefully and quietly. But it's pretty rare to see somebody just straight up going through garbage just to go through garbage. And not only any garbage, like our garbage can was foul, like rotten meats and feces, foul and heat. It's just, you know. And again, you know, then I started to, you know, and then I told my mom about it, and she was like, you know, that guy could have gotten sick, like, because yeah, there was rotten meat in there. And like, you know, I love my mom, she's so beautiful and thoughtful people. I mean, yeah, she has her flaws and she's very Babylonianized, but you know, I didn't even think that. I was so caught up in my own, you know, selfish irritation and, you know, being a man and this and that. I didn't even think that, like, yo, bro, you are sticking your hands right in a place where raw, rotten, not raw, but, well, yeah, I guess it was raw because it wasn't cooked. Rotten, raw meat was in, and dog poo. Like, I didn't even think that because I was so overwhelmed with my own irritation of the moment. But, you know, my mom, she's always thinking about, you know, the safety and health of others. I mean, that's really a paramount thought pattern that she's got a lot of good energy for. And I wish, you know, I don't wish, because wishing is being foolish, but I want to get better at being that well. I could have been very humble and just been like, hey man, you know, just, you know, I don't think there's anything in there that's really valuable, but if you want to look, go ahead. I should also tell you that there was raw meat and dog poop, so you should probably wash your hands, or be very careful about what you're touching in there, because it could get you really sick. But I didn't do that, you know. But so, you know, that's a lesson for me to learn. I really want to be able to reflect that type of beautiful light to anybody and whatever they're doing. If I see something that's harmful to themselves or to anybody, to be able to just shed light on what they're doing, not to stop them or be forceful about it. I mean, unless they're really hurting somebody else. But to definitely be compassionate and to share good wisdom and to help steer them towards a more healthy and good way. So I think, you know, I wanted to make this video to kind of share that with anybody that might have any type of obstacles that irritate them, to know that, you know, you can operate and navigate, you know, those obstacles. You can always be better at things. And I feel pretty good about myself and reacting the way I did, because I know that my former self has a tendency to speak and confront things like that, and I just didn't do that at all, you know, and I really wanted to. There was quite a few minutes where I was like, oh, like part of my lower self was like, ooh, a chance to fight, a chance to conflict, a chance to stand up for what's right, and, you know, get involved. And, you know, that's not cool. That's gotten me into a lot of trouble in my past, and hasn't done really any good other than teach me a lesson to not do that again. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you all. And with that being said, I love myself, and good energy to all. Organize good day. All right, goodbye.